Yeah, that's what she says in the fresher.
Hold on to the handrail if you need to. Yep. Just right in front of that wooden gate right there, you guys.
Aquí es
donde la tiene que usar. No, pero con la foto.
Oh. Watch your step getting down there, folks. Just right in front of that wooden gate. We're gonna take this picture real quick and we will get this party started. Small people in the front, tall people in the back. Usually works out best that way, you guys. I know it's kind of an awkward space, but the camera's got a really wide angle.
Nice and fresh.
I'm the smallest.
We're going to talk about that guys in a couple minutes.
Look, it's just like Carlsbad. Remember the cars in Carlsbad? You see it?
Nice smooth concrete from here on out, folks. I'm going to ask that everybody turn those flashlights off to kind of give our eyes a chance to adjust to the low lighting that is in here. It does not get any darker than the hallway that we just came through. So ladies and gentlemen, the room that you are standing in right now is known as the Oriental Gardens, and I will explain a little history as to why in just a moment. But first, I want to talk to you guys about some of the rock structures that are in here, because this is stuff that you will be seeing throughout the duration of your tour today. So the first thing are these cool spiky looking guys hanging down from the ceiling. These spikes up here are called stalactites. So water moves everything in caves, you guys. Stalactites are created when that water drips down from the ceiling of a cave, leaving an icicle of minerals behind over time. The second thing is on the ground right beneath. This guy sticking out of the ground right here is called a stalagmite. Stalagmites are created when that water pools on the cave floor. It evaporates eventually, leaving those minerals coming up in the opposite direction beneath. The third thing is this cool wall right next to me. This stuff over here is called flowstone. Flowstone is created when that water runs over a smooth surface of the cave wall, blanketing those rocks and minerals, creating that curtain-like formation over time. So as I said just a moment ago, this room is known as the Oriental Gardens because in 1935, a man named George Jeffries and his crew were excavating back here. They were digging around back in this area over here when they thought that that tall stalagmite at the back looked like a pagoda or a temple, and that the smaller ones looked like a village below, hence the name of the room. Another cool structure I want to talk to you guys about in here is this guy right in front of you. This is the longest stalactite at Cave of the Winds. It sits at about 8.5 feet long. Scientists estimate it takes anywhere from 800 to 1,000 years per cubic inch of growth for these structures, you guys. Really long process. Speaking of long processes, I want to kick you guys just a little bit of cave knowledge while we're standing here and explain how our cave systems are formed. So scientists estimate about 500 million years ago, an ocean actually sat where we're all standing right now. As things died in that ocean, their bones and shells sank to the bottom and got compressed into the limestone that make up the vast majority of our cave walls. Well, about 70 million years ago, tectonic activity pushed the Rocky Mountain Range up into the sky, creating cracks in the earth, you guys. These cracks up here are called lifelines, and lifelines are exactly how caves are formed. So as the water table outside dropped, it brought the water through the ground with it, picking up things like minerals and carbon dioxide on its way through. So by the time that water got to our cave systems, it was known as a light carbonic acid. Does anybody want to take a guess as to what we use that for today? I'll give you guys a hint, it's a drink. Soda pop, good job you guys. So that carbonic acid is what makes soda pop fizzy and all that good stuff. And limestone is extremely reactive to acids. So as that lightly acidic water came down in here, it carved away at the rock, leaving behind these caverns and the minerals on the walls and these beautiful rock structures that we get to enjoy today. So a very long and drawn out process over hundreds of millions of years, you guys. Really crazy stuff to think about. We are going to be heading down this hallway that's behind me. We got some rock formations lining this hall. I like to call them toe busters. Just make sure you're watching your step for those guys. All right, ladies and gents, so the room that we are in now is called the Valley of Dreams. We've been giving commercial tours in this cave since the 1880s.
Wait.
That big red cavern above your head as you're entering the room, hon.
No, I don't get it when I jump.
That one?
Yep, that one right up
I
there.
thought it was light.
Nope. Like I said, it's a little bit hidden up there.
Oh, kind of feels fresh here. Feels good.
It's really nice in here. It stays about 54 degrees in here year round, you
Yeah, I
guys.
looked up there.
It feels great.
The ground is
Doesn't
a
it?
phenomenal insulator. Nice and cool in the summer, a little bit warmer in the
stores-
winter.
Yeah, I looked up.
That red cavern above your heads as you're entering the room, you guys. Everybody doing good so far?
Yes.
Fantastic. Does anybody have any questions yet? You guys just let me know if you got anything. I'm more than happy to answer.
How come it varies from different states, this tunnels, because we're from El Paso, Texas, and we went to Carlsbad Caverns.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you know about it.
I do know about Carl. I've never been there personally, but I do know about them, yes.
If you get a chance, go, but it's very interesting.
I would love to sometime. I was actually terrified of being underground before I took this job, you guys. Slowly getting into this cave thing. I'm actually having a list of stuff I gotta go check out. Carlsbad is on that list. The reason that the caves vary, it really depends on the geological location of the area.
Okay.
So Colorado, for example, we used to have active volcanoes in this area. So we have some volcanic tunnels. This cave system is a limestone cave system, as I explained earlier, created by the ocean and whatnot. So it just really depends on where they were, how they formed in the areas that they were at, that kind of stuff. Good questions, you
Okay.
guys. Take a
Thank you.
second to stretch out, folks.
Yeah.
Don't touch the cave, but stretch out. So the room that we are in right now is called Guide's Rest. On those original tours, it took about 3 hours of belly crawling in the dark and the dirt to get to this point, and this was one of the only rooms at the time that they had enough headspace to stand up and stretch. So this was a very welcome break for those folks on those original tours. Did you have a question?
Yeah, well, how did the rocks fall from there?
That's a great question. So they actually didn't fall from here, you guys. This stuff is a result of what we call cave pushing. So in the mid-1900s, a bunch of cavers came through here, and they dug up what made up the cave floor at the time. All this loose dirt, rock, and boulder you guys are seeing. And they pushed that stuff back into dead ends, unused corridors, and empty hallways within the cave. They did it for a lot of different reasons, you guys. The biggest reason was to clear up more space in the main part of the cave system, see if they could unearth any more rooms, cool rock structures, that kind of stuff. The other reason was some caver communication, just to let future cavers know that there wasn't anything back in these passageways and they could go somewhere else in the cave system to find the really cool stuff. So that was a great question, bud.
Do they ever shift?
No, they do not. Nope, they're all pretty settled where they're at. They did a really good job just packing them up in there. So that is the little bit of digging that we did do in Cave of the Winds, you guys. We are going to be heading down this hallway that's behind me. We got some low-hanging rocks and ceilings in here, so please watch your heads as you're moving through. When we get through, we're going to be going up a pretty steep staircase, you guys. It's a little bit of a doozy. Just take your time on the staircase, use the handrails, and stay safe for me. Come on in and watch your heads.
I'm small enough right there.
Lincoln, make sure you duck, Lincoln.
I don't have to worry about my head. I don't have to worry about my head. Because it's fine. I don't even have to go.
All right, ladies and gents, we're going